We all know that the best way for you to make coins within Ultimate Team is through trading. But with that said, it's not always easy to find good trades. There's going to be a lot of people trying to do the exact same thing, and in a lot of cases, you will be outbidded. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a few techniques that you can use so that you can win more trades and ultimately make more coins. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to purchase some cheap, fast and reliable FC24 coins, then there is no better place than U4GM. There is a link in the description down below, and if you use code Fanatic, you'll also be able to get yourself a 5% discount. Thank you U4GM for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back into it. With what we're about to go through, it's not going to be methods that you can use within every single trading method, but it's likely that you'll be able to go and use one of these in order to find more deals, more trades, and ultimately make more coins. So firstly, we need to talk about volume. A very easy way to win more trades is to increase the amount of players as well as items that you bid on. If you end up winning 10% of everything that you bid on and you only bid on 100 items per day, you're going to win 10. But if you were to increase this to be 200, 300, 400, whatever that number may be, as long as you keep that percentage the same, you're going to win more deals. This is especially the case in methods that do require you to bid, such as a bulk bidding or mass bidding method. Keep on going until you run out of coins or max out your watch list, and once you finish, send all of those players to your transfer list, and if you don't have enough space to list them, you can send them to your unassigned so that you can continuously keep on bidding. Increase volume. Number 2, you should be trading during peak conditions. What are peak conditions? Well, normally it's whenever EA release content. A detail that you should know about EA is that when they do release content, it's not the case that they've released content and then the game has become popular with more people coming to Ultimate Team. They release content because it's at those hours when the game is most popular, and it's normally 6 PM UK time, as well as there also being time over the weekends. This is because people have things to do during the day, whether it be school, college, university, or work. That normally takes them up to 4, 5, maybe even 6 PM, where most finish work at that time, come home, and they just want to relax. And in some cases, they'll hop on Ultimate Team to have a bit of fun. This is peak conditions as there are the most amount of people playing, therefore the most amount of items listed on the transfer market, and to add to this, EA releases additional content for people to go through, so there's also the most amount of packs being opened during this time. This increases across major events such as once we get to Halloween, Black Friday, any type of festive promo, team of the year, and towards the end, team of the season. And number 3, bid within the last 40 to 30 seconds before an item expires. In this case, someone else has already placed a bid on that item. And once we get down to the last 40 to 30 seconds, by placing a bid, they have somewhat less time to react compared to if you were to bid within the last 15, 20, or even 30 minutes. This increases the chances of you being able to win that item because not everyone will place a bid on a player and sit there and wait for the full duration until that player is expired. Most will place a bid, go into a game, or place a bid and then get on with the rest of their lives as they hope to come back later, sign in, and see that they've won that player. Not just that, but by placing a bid on a player as it comes towards the last 30 seconds, once it gets into the last 30 seconds, it doesn't always show up on the transfer market. Just to show you what I mean, if you were to go over to the transfer market, select no parameters and just search, it's likely going to put you on a page where they're going to expire within the next 15 to 30 seconds. It doesn't show anything less than that. And even if you were to back out and search again, it'll be a different page, even though it should be the same page as what you had before, but now them players being less than 10 seconds. It just doesn't show it. So by placing a bid before the last 30 to 40 seconds puts you in an exclusive club where you're the only people who can see that player. And now it's just down to those who are bidding who actually win that player. This can also lead into another strategy where if the EA servers go offline. If they go offline, no one can place a bid, no one has access to the game. So if you time this correctly, you can place bids on players before EA takes Ultimate Team down for maintenance, and then by the time you get back, you should be able to win a few trades below market value. And number 5, we have time wasting. It's worth waiting until the last 30 to 40 seconds to place your first bid, but if you were to get outbidded again, the timer goes all the way back up to 30 seconds. And this is where you can use your time to an advantage because most people do not have the patience. Wait for that trade to go all the way down to the last 1 to 5 seconds and then place a bid. If your opponent places a bid for themselves, you're going to do the exact same thing again. Wait until it goes down to the last 1 to 5 seconds. This really annoys other players because they are literally just waiting for them to finally get the deal. They build up their anticipation as it gets down to the last couple and then they get outbidded again. You keep this going long enough, players get very frustrated, but it's also useful to you because as you're trading trying to get this one player, you're not just waiting for that one single player, you're also looking at other players. And with the 30 seconds that you have in between each bid that you place, you can go through other players and do the exact same thing, where potentially you don't need to go into this bidding war. You have already won them and you got more trades coming through. So even if you were not to win the trade that you're currently bidding on for the final couple of seconds, you will hopefully still be winning other deals, which will put you ahead. And if you were to go and win this, well, you know you frustrated your opponents and you've been able to win a good trade to lead to some decent profit at the end. There's also a visual glitch that has been an Ultimate Team for the longest time. And if someone has done this type of strategy to you, you will have experienced this. Because what you'll see is that your player will go down, it will count down, 3, 2, 1, it expires, you've won the deal. But weirdly, you're not able to select that player. You back out, enter back in, and that player is now active. It's still active on the transfer market, except now you've been outbidded. It doesn't make sense, but this is just a visual glitch. Your opponent has placed a bid within the last couple of seconds, but on your side, the game has not updated. You can use this against your opponent and it helps you win loads of deals. Sometimes what will happen, and this will take us on to number 6, is that your opponent, whoever you're bidding against, will mirror your actions. Just as you're bidding within the last couple of seconds on a trade that's about to expire, your opponent will then do the exact same thing to you. What you might find, especially if it's a player listed way below market value, that you could be waiting quite some time. So this is a good time in which you can change up the bidding style, where you'll quickly go through and place multiple bids within a row. Let's just say a player is about to expire at 10,000 coins. You'll quickly come through, place a bid at 10,250. That will take the timer back up to 30 seconds and you're immediately going to place another bid at 10,500, another one at 10,750, another one at 11,000 and another one at 11,250. Just doing one up every single time. This can give the impression that all of a sudden a player has had a lot of demand come through. Now there's more than just one other person that your opponent is bidding against. If you time it correctly, and this does just come down to chance because of course we cannot know, but by doing this quick bidding, you may bid at the exact same time in which your opponent bids, and if it comes up with a message saying that your bid cannot be accepted as of right now, there's another bid higher, which always tends to happen within Ultimate Team, it could be the tipping point for your opponent where they just lose patience. But if you're going to do that, and this is point number 7, you need to set limits. Know when to stop. In the situation that we've just gone through, if you were to go up to 11,250, but the player can only be sold at 11,500, then you've made a mistake. You've gone way too high, way too fast. You got caught up in the bidding war itself and forgot the main point of this, which was to make profit. 5% EA tax from 11,500 means that you will lose coins. So with every single trade that you go through, figure out the final point, what they will be able to sell for, and then take steps backwards. If a player can only be sold at 1,000 coins, you then need to work out the 5% EA tax, which will be 50 coins. And then also you want to take away how much profit you would like to make. So in this case, let's say you want to make 200 coins profit. That means the highest bid price that you should be going for this particular type of player is 750 coins. Of course, you can go higher, but then you won't be making as much profit per player. And this is why it's vital for you to know your numbers. And at number 8, sometimes you don't need to be greedy. I see this all the time. I will go into the transfer market and I'll come across a player they currently have a bid on. And let's just say, for example, it's 10,000 coins. That's their current bid. I will then search that player up by name and find that their lowest buy now is the one that currently has a bid on. And the buy now is going to be 12,000 coins, but the next cheapest after this would be 13,500. Now, in this case, as this player has a bid on, there's someone who came across him, placed a bid in hopes to get them way below market value. When in actual fact, this player is already listed below market value. You can buy that player at 12,000, list them at 13,500 so that they're the joint cheapest. And if they were to sell, you will still be making profit. Worst case scenario, let's say that you're not trading and you just want to buy this player for your team, you can still buy the one at 12,000 and it's still being 1,500 coins cheaper than anything else. But because there's a bid option there, most go and put the bid for 10,000 coins or whatever it may be, and they just wait. They think it's the better thing to do just to save an extra few thousand. But in this case, if I see that, I'm buying that player immediately, listing them back onto the transfer market. And for the person who did originally bid on that player, of course they lost them. And if they were looking to buy that player for their team, they now need to buy the player that I've just listed or one of the others which is listed at the exact same price. In some cases, you need to think about the saying of any profit is good profit. And in situations like this, as it only takes a couple seconds to research a player, buy them, and then relist them, it makes sense to go through it. But anyway, here are some strategies that you can use to win more trades. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking the next video on screen. That video goes through the correct way in which you should be grinding squad builder challenges. It'll help you make millions of coins with tradable as well as untradeable players. I hope you enjoy.